children, how are you all? I hope you all are hale and hearty, you all are fit and fine. My name is Tanya Sharma and I welcome you all to the PW Gulf in the Succeed Ultimate Recap batch. Today we are going to start another and a very big chapter of history, that is Nazism and the rise of Hitler. Let's get started without wasting any time. Let's keep a very brief and crisp discussion. Let's start this chapter. What all we are going to learn in this chapter will be a story of a boy named Helmuth. Then we'll understand how the rise of Hitler came in this particular chapter, what was the effects of World War II, and what were the impact of Nazism and the entire impact of Hitler on the world. Let's get started with a beautiful story, and the story we are talking about in the spring season of the year 1945. The place was in Germany. Let's see what happened in this beautiful season. There was a boy named Helmuth and he was 11 years of old. Then what happened? Actually, one day he was sleeping and then he heard his parents were talking. Were their parents talking about something good? No, they were talking about something bad and which was really negative. Helmuth was, half asleep. So here he overheard the conversation, and what was the conversation all about? The conversation was very negative. Actually, his father was talking about the suicide and the suicide of the entire family. And he was actually addressing his wife that what should we actually do? Either I should kill myself first, or what should I do? Either I should kill yourself and you and Helmuth, and then I should die. So obviously this talk was very negative, and Helmuth was very scared of this particular kind of talk. And after this talk, the father took the entire family to a picnic. And when obviously we go to picnic, we become very happy. So the entire aura was really happy. Helmuth was very happy. The entire family enjoyed the picnic day. But what happened next? The next day, actually, there was a breaking news in the entire, entire news channels that there is a suicide whereby a father had headshot himself, suicide, and because of this particular who was this particular father? This particular father was the Helmuth's father, basically, who was an 11-year-old Helmuth boy, which we have done the story of. So basically, Helmuth's father, he did suicide by attacking himself and dead shot with this pistol. Now, this particular thing was very sad and confusing and made Helmuth very much scared and feared for this particular thing. Why? Because some days before he has overheard this conversation when he was half asleep, whereby his parents were talking about the same thing. And this entire thing led to a very, 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 negative impact on Helmuth as an 11-year-old boy. He was very confused, he was in the state of fear, and he was traumatized with this particular incident. Then what happened? And because of this event, we obviously want to know what was the reason behind this suicide, and why was Helmuth was in the state of fear? Why was he in the state of fear? Also, he did not eat anything as he was fearing that his mother would add something to the food and definitely he will also die some or the other day. What was the reason behind the entire story? What was the reason behind the conversation between the mother and father? We will understand in this particular chapter. Let's get started with the particular chapter, but before that, we need to go to the past, whereby, as you all know, history is a study of past, and past means that we are doing the story of someone or something. Hereby, we are doing the story of obviously Helmuth, but the chapter is of Nazism and the rise of Hitler. So, we're going past to the story and the year of 1914. Let's see what happened in the year 1914. So, basically, as we can all see, First World War. First World War recalls, obviously this year recalls us of the First World War, which happened for the entire world, and whereby everyone somewhere or the other was a part, directly or indirectly. Now, when we talk about the First World War, we understand the two great powers. Definitely, when we're talking about the World War, it has definitely had some areas, or we can say some powers who are very much powerful. Who are these powers? So, we start with the Great War begins, and this was First World War. On the one hand, we have elite powers. On the other hand, we have central powers. Elite powers were participated in these powers: Great Britain, France, Russia. Okay, and then US. And the next were Germany, Austrian-Hungarian Empire, Ottoman Empire, and today Ottoman Empire is known by Turkey. So these were the two powers, allied powers and the central powers. Let's see what happened next. So definitely in the First World War, what happened? Germany was actually very powerful. Germany was powerful in terms of its resources, in terms of its entire, basically the powerfulness and everything. But now, what happens after the First World War? Germany lost its power. Now, what was the reason behind? It is said that Germany lost only because of USA. It was said that Germany lost and the reason was only USA. Why? Because USA was much more great in economic aspect if we compare to Germany. But Germany was also strong by then. Let's see what happened. Now, hereby already who was there? A king. A king was there in Germany. Imperial Germany king, or the Germany, that is the Imperial Germany, whereby we talk about the king and the kingdom. On 11th November 1918, the Emperor William II abdicated. What do we mean by abdicated? Abdicated means that this particular emperor was actually moved out. This particular king himself said that I don't want to become the king or emperor because the Germany had lost the war of World War I. And monarchy ceased to exist, whereby there is no monarchy, hereby everything is seized. Now, definitely when we talk about World War, any war whereby the king is also not there, so someone has to make government, right? So government has to be formed. The country cannot run without any government. So the country will not run without any government, which means that somewhere someone or the other or any government has to be formed so that the country has to be run and a lot of things has to be run in continuity. Now let's see what happened. So hereby if we talk about the Germany, there was an area, and this particular area was known as Weimar. So Weimar, this National Assembly was formed by the name of this area, and that is why this area and this entire assembly was known as Weimar Republic. Okay, so National Assembly was formed and now a lot of monarchical systems ceased, wherever now this particular National Assembly was formed by Weimar area, and this was known as Weimar Republic. Now as a name, you know what is Republic? Republic means the head of the state is an elected person. So by the word elected, it means that a lot changes are coming from monarchical to democratic rule. They are coming from monarchy to republican rule. So Germany's government was formed in 1919 to 1933, whereby National Assembly created federal structure. Whereby then we have proper democratic form, we have central government, we have local government, we have the power between the central and the other areas. Then we have democratic constitution for the Germany. So again, a lot of good things are happening. People of Germany elected deputies, whereby members are elected now. Elections are happening, and German parliament, which is known as Riksdag, that was formed. So listening everything like from monarchy to republic and democratic things are coming, so everyone would be happy. But what was the strange case in Germany? Hereby the people were actually sad. The people were sad because of this entire thing, because of this republican thing, because of elections, because of democratic rule. Now definitely all these things are very much attracted all over the world. Why were people in Germany, they were sad because of this thing, because of Weimar Republic. Now when we talk about Weimar Republic actually after the war signed a treaty which was known as Treaty of Versailles. Now what was the reason behind the sadness of people? Was the Treaty of Versailles. But what was that in Treaty of Versailles? The Treaty of Versailles, if you remember class 9 first chapter, that is French Revolution, Versailles was in France. So hereby Treaty of Versailles was signed, and this basically had a lot of things, because as you all know, Germany lost the war and Germany was very powerful in its resources and all other things. So definitely when Germany lost, all the allied powers wanted to capture everything. So they mentioned each and everything in the Treaty of Versailles. Now let's see what is Treaty of Versailles. So all the allied powers, the Great Britain, France and USSR actually shake hands with Germany, not with Germany but with the Weimar Republic. Okay, not with Germany, but here we would like to say Weimar Republic. Now Weimar Republic was represented as the government, were represented by the Germany. So they shook hands, and what was in the Treaty of Versailles, which was hated by everyone. So let's see what is Treaty of Versailles. So Treaty of Versailles, basically, as I told you, Germany was very rich in its resources. So the first point whereby the elite powers want Germany's thing was resources. So basically, Germany lost 13% of its territories, whereby a lot of areas was lost. Again, this was a very big loss for the Germany. Then what happened? Germany lost 75% of its iron. Iron is a very precious resource. So this was this was captured by the elite powers. So that is the reason why people hated Treaty of Versailles. Germany lost 26% of the coal. The elite powers demilitarized Germany. Whatever military was there in Germany was taken over by the elite powers, and the war guilt clause, which means that whatever war happened, whatever expense happened in the war, everything was that burden of the war was the burden of the expense was given on the Germany, which was 600 billion euros. Again, this was a very big burden on Germany. And lastly, Rhineland, which was very much, Rhineland was an area which was rich in resources, was also captured by elite forces. So everything, all these points are coming under Treaty of Versailles, which was signed by Weimar Republic. Obviously, if you lose all your resourceful areas, your resources, definitely people will feel bad. And this was signed by Weimar Republic. That is the reason why people did not like Weimar Republic, because they have signed the Treaty of Versailles, which was very harsh on the people of Germany. So everyone, like all the people of Germany, was blaming Weimar Republic, and they were very sad. Then some people, and out of there were some people who actually supported Weimar Republic. All these were the people who were known as November criminals. Now, who were these people actually who were supporting Weimar Republic? These were the people who had signed Treaty of Versailles, which is again very obvious. These people who are signing Treaty of Versailles, definitely they will support Weimar Republic. So only those chunk who have signed the Treaty of Versailles were known as the supporters of Weimar Republic. Also, they were known as November criminals. Why? They were known as November criminals because they signed the Treaty of Versailles in November 1918. That is why they were known as November criminals, and all the people actually hated these November criminals as well. Now, when we talk about World War I actually had a very bad impact on the entire world, especially on Germany and on the entire world as well. So if we see that effects of World War I on entire Europe. Europe is a very big area and Germany is just a part of Europe. So from being a creditor became a debtor. If we talk about only Germany, so Germany was a creditor. Germany used to extend loans, but because of the World War I, Germany became a debtor, whereby Germany has to, give a lot of war compensation to a lot of areas. And then in 1923, there was another phenomena which was known as hyperinflation, which is again a very big phenomena. Hyperinflation means when the price actually is increasing into very excessive number, which means, for example, one thing will get for 1 rupee or 1 dirham, you get that particular thing in 100 dirhams or 100 rupees, which is again a very big excessive price rise. So it is a term to describe rapid means fast, excessive means a lot, and out of control general price increase in economy. So for a loaf of bread, for example, we have to give bundles of money as mentioned in the animated picture. So this is again a very bad phenomena. So if we talk about only Germany, so Germany had a very bad impact. Why? Because Germany took a lot of loans. Okay, Germany took a lot of loan, and now Germany was unable to pay all these loans. So a lot of gold reserves, which were there in Germany, they were also getting depleted. And thirdly, Ruhr was an area which was very much like Rhineland. Ruhr was also area which was also had a lot of resources. This was also captured by a lot of elite powers. So this was loss of who? This was loss of Germany. Now because of this entire hyperinflation, Germany and the people of Germany did a very silly mistake, and this silly mistake was printing a lot of currency, and they were printing a lot of currency recklessly. This was not a solution, this was a silly mistake, and because of this recklessly printing notes, what happened, this actually they went into slowly, gradually they were also getting very sad. Their situation was getting worse. Now, who helped actually them? It was said that like Germany actually lost because of USA, because USA was high in resources, they were high in economic plans. So hereby Germany was helped only by USA. So USA saw the problem, and USA at this point of time helped as a very kind friend. So USA helped Germany by providing small loans, okay, by providing small loans, and because of these small loans, it is said that Germany was actually recovering from its place. And this particular phase whereby USA was helping with the small loans to Germany was known as Dawes Plan. Okay, this was known as Dawes Plan, whereby USA was very slowly giving small loans so that Germany was getting out of the situation, and actually this was a good phase for Germany, and USA was helping Germany. But what happened when USA was helping Germany, on the other hand, USA hit badly, because in USA 1929 this phase was very bad for USA, because the entire exchange market, wall exchange was actually crashed in US, which is again a stock market. Again the economic depression came in US. US, being a very kind friend, started helping Germany, but again in US in 1929 a very bad thing came, and that was known as Great Economic Depression. Let us learn about that. What is Great Economic Depression? So this support was withdrawn with the crash. Now actually hereby USA was supporting, hereby you can say USA was supporting, but when actually USA had a lot of bad thing coming up, which was known as Great Economic Depression, hereby the support which was USA giving, extending to Germany for the loans, was actually taken back, and this support was withdrawn with the crash in 1929 of the Wall Street Exchange. So Germany, obviously USA was considered as an high economic place or an area whereby, because of the USA Wall Street Exchange crash, the entire areas whereby USA extending loans also hit badly. So German economy was also hit badly. The middle class, working people were filled with the fear of prioritization, whereby everyone who were traders had to work with meager income, and then Weimar Republic had some inherent defect. Everything was getting worse in Germany because of the Wall Street Exchange economic or Great Economic Depression in USA. Now, what was the Great Economic Depression effect on Germany? First, industrial production reduced. Wherever the production was coming, it reduced to 40%. Then unemployed people or unemployment increased up to 6 billion, whereby a lot of people were working, 6 billion people actually stopped working and there was no employment. Third point, because there were empty, criminal activities increased. A lot of people and youth culture, actually they became criminals, they actually looted, and a lot of things they came under bad company. Then there was no trade happening, there was no exchange of economy happening, no trade is happening, no services are happening, and then agriculture, peasant crop actually failed. Peasants and farmers were not actually growing anything because they did not have a lot of surplus with them, and on the contrary, what happened? We see that price rose, a lot of price rose of the existing crops. Then next was mothers were not being able to feed their children. Mothers were again very sad and they were not being able to feed their children. This was a Great Economic Depression effect which happened in USA, which now is seen in Germany. Why? Because Germany was actually taking help from USA from the Dawes Plan, but again it did not show a very good success. So now again coming back to the Weimar Republic, everyone started blaming Weimar Republic. Why again? Because if Weimar Republic would not have signed the Treaty of Versailles, everything would be very much normal. But now things are not normal because everyone started again blaming Weimar Republic. Now what happened? Now there was a rise of this particular person was known as Hitler. Now Hitler was always seen as a leader, as a great leader. How he came? So let us understand about Hitler. So Hitler was born in Austria, not in Australia. Okay, he was born in Austria in 1889. He earned many medals. He was very, famous for this army. He was from a military background. He was famous for his bravery, and he won a lot of medals in First World War. The German defeat horrified him. He was very much scared by the German defeat in the First World War. Second, the Treaty of Versailles made him furious. Now, because of the Treaty of Versailles, which was signed by the November criminals, made him more fear that what will happen to our Germany, because Germany was, was kind of rich in resources. Germany was powerful, but now we can see Germany's situation was getting worse. Next, what happened? He joined the German Workers' Party. The German Worker Party was renamed by Nationalist Socialist German Worker Party, and later on this party is known as the Nazi Party. Nazism became a mass movement because Nazi was given a name, and this name of Nazism was slowly, gradually it was becoming a mass movement during the Great Depression. The Nazi propaganda stirred hope for a better future. Now, this was, actually when you're very sad and someone gives you hope, you become very much enlightened, you feel very happy. Similar things happened with people of Germany and Nazism. What happened? People actually became very much happy that some or the other person is giving us hope. He was none other than Hitler and his party, that is known as Nazi Party. Hitler was powerful and effective speaker, and to his characteristics, he was a very, charismatic man. Whatever he said, he was a man of words. Whatever he said, he did. And yes, he was very much powerful speaker, and everyone was influenced by his speeches. He promised the people strong nation, that I would work for a strong nation, all would get employment, whereby this was a need of an hour to get employment, to get a lot of employment for the youth, whereby the youth is becoming criminal, mothers are not happy, they're not being able to feed. So this was a ray of hope for a lot of people in Germany. Then what happened? So Hitler and Nazism was very different from a lot of other leaders. Let us see. If you see the symbol, it was very much different from other symbols of the party. So yes, this was something different he was coming with. Then the type of salute he was doing is again very different. So the type of salute he was doing again very different. So he was, and his party and a lot of things are very different from a lot of other leaders. People have never seen these kind of things before. Let us see what Nazism is bringing here. So how Nazi party came into politics. Let us see. So rise of Nazi party in German politics. When he started his elections, in first elections in 1928 elections in Germany, he did not secure a lot of votes. Nazi party and the leader, that is Hitler, he did not secure a lot of votes. Okay, Nazi party only secured 2.6% of votes and actually lost in the first election. Then how did he came into the party? Then we had the second elections in then what happened in 1929? As you all know, Great Economic Depression happened in USA, and its effect was seen in Germany. Now this was a time whereby Hitler and Nazi party could promise and could give hopes to a lot of people. So he made promises, wanted support, and he was a good speaker, also influenced a lot of people, and this attracted a lot of people of Germany. So Hitler and Nazi party were able to make promises and were able to influence a lot of people. Then in 1932 another set of elections happened here, and in this area Nazi party won elections in the German parliament by securing 37% of the votes that were required, and were influenced a lot of people during the phase of Great Economic Depression which happened in USA. Then what happened? He promised a lot of things. As I told you, he was a man of words, and he actually did what he promised. So what promises were made by Adolf Hitler? It was that he will make Germany a very strong nation. Okay, he will remove the provisions of Treaty of Versailles. Whatever Treaty of Versailles had done, he will remove all these things. Definitely, whatever dignity of the citizens have been under press, he will increase or he will enhance the dignity of the citizens. Every citizen of Germany will get employment, which was the need of an hour, whereby people were not working, youth was getting wasted. So hereby they actually started, and he promised that he will bring a lot of employment. And also he said that whenever we see a lot of allied powers are coming and they are capturing our land, this will also be the thing where he will stop forcing the interference of the foreign people. Like foreign people will never come to our country and acquire our land. We will stop this thing. So all these were promises made by Hitler. And also Hitler, because he made a lot of promises, he actually was a man of word, and he actually, what he promised, he actually started doing with it. So Hitler achieved the highest position in the cabinet of ministries on 30 January. On 30 January 1933, in the entire parliament that was listed, he was acquiring a lot of area, whereby he was again, getting famous, popularized, and he was actually working for the country. Then he wanted to remove, now what, ego and what's his, thing was just coming up in his heart was that he wanted to remove the democracy and wanted to establish dictatorship. Now this was a bad thought which was coming in the heart and mind of Hitler. He wanted to become a monarch, not monarch, but a dictator, that he will dictate the entire, country of Germany. Again, his manifestations came true, and hereby there was a fire broke in the German parliament. So there was fire in, you see the time, which was 27 Feb 1933. So this Hitler took the, we can say, he took the advantage of this situation, and then what he did, he issued, or he ordered a fire decree. What was a fire decree? Now, because the entire parliament was on fire and obviously things were not in hands of anybody, so what he did, he imposed fire decree, ordered fire decree, which mean that on 28 February 1993, that is the next day, suspended civic rights like freedom of speech, press and assembly, whereby he took the advantage of the fire and he actually suspended the rights like what happened in democracy, like freedom of speech, then we have civic rights, press and assembly, everything was cancelled, whereby he was taking things in his control, in his entire control. Communists were hurriedly packed off to new and established concentration camps, whereby communists, a lot of people who actually wanted to have a lot of other things other than the government, they actually packed off and they went to the concentration camp. Okay. Then all political parties were banned. Whatever political parties were there, apart from Nazi party, all the parties were banned. Next, special surveillance and security forces were created to control the people and rule with impunity. Now hereby he was taking the advantage of the situation. He ordered the fire decree and was taking the control in the hands, and now he will dictate and control the entire world. So on 3rd March 1933, the Enabling Act, because of the Enabling Act, he became the dictator of the country. He took the advantage of the fire decree, then established the fire decree by ordering a lot of things, and then next 2-3 days more, he hurriedly issued Enabling Act, with which this act he took the entire control of the Germany and thus became a dictator. Then what happened? Hitler became a dictator and also bans all the parties except the Nazi party, which was his own party. Then what happened? Hitler made a lot of changes. First of all, Hitler actually hired a guide, or we can say an economist known as Hjalmar Sachse. Hjalmar Sachse, who was actually a guide, or we can say mentor, or we can say economist to Hitler. And Hitler wanted to, change the entire situation of Germany by making a lot of good changes. That's why he hired Hjalmar Sachse. So Hjalmar Sachse, being an economist, he said that he was given a responsibility of the economic recovery of the entire Germany, and he was also getting the fund from the government, that is obviously now dictator, that is Hitler, and he was said that he will do full production. Now this was his idea of a Hjalmar Sachse, that he'll do full production. Full production means that when he'll do the full production, he will need a lot of people to do full production, and thus this will increase the full employment. And yes, because of this, highways, Volkswagen, thus Auto was again a brand which we see nowadays, that was again done, full production. And yes, some of the things were good at this point of time. Now Hitler also did a lot of changes in political wise. So first he pulled off the league. Now we see European Union, so actually what he did, United Nations. So this was again in the earlier times, in 1933, this is known as League of Nations, which is known as United Nations. So actually he pulled out his name, and now Germany was not a part of the League of Nations. He pulled out his name in 1993. Okay, reoccupied the Rhine, and Rhine, if you remember, that was captured by Allied powers, that was reoccupied by the Hitler under the by the Germany under the rule of Hitler as a dictator. He integrated Austria and Germany in 1938 under the slogan "One people, one empire and one leader." So one leader was Hitler, one people, again they made Austria and Germany integrated as a one kingdom type, and one empire, one area. Apart from that, he then took Sudetenland land from Czechoslovakia. So this was Czechoslovakia. He took the Sudetenland land also of the Czechoslovakia. So again, a lot of good things he was doing to make the situation of the Germany very much nice. But one thing he came to his mind was to, actually what was coming into mind, that was to occupy a lot of territories, and making German as a very big empire, okay, German empire, so that he will be that the dictator and he would rule a lot of things. But this was not, Jarmus Asche, as being an economist, he said that you will actually ruin everything. But Hitler was very egoistic. He wanted to acquire everything. But Jarmus Asche said, no, this is a very bad idea. Whatever we have regained again in Germany, situation is very nice. Again, you will be at loss. He did not listen to Jarmus Asche, who actually gave a very good advice. He did not took a very good advice from Jarmus Asche, and then he wanted to occupy a lot of territories. So he did not accepted his request. So Hitler wanted to expand the territories. Hitler had an unspoken support of England. Hitler actually had, we have always one friend that we all know that he or she will always be there. So this was a friend kind of to Germany, that was England. But Hitler did not stop here. He chose war as a way out of economic crisis. He wanted to, expand. And how will you expand? You will definitely expand through wars, through fights and everything. But Hitler had a very, unsupported support, we can say unspoken support of England. But what he did was very bad. So one day he actually invaded Poland. So on 1st September 1940, Germany invaded Poland. Now hereby, when England had a support of, Hitler, England felt very bad, and England merged with France, and now they were against, okay, England merged with France, and now they were against the Germany. So basically this was the war which was uncalled for, and he actually, because he invaded Poland, okay, England was a friend, Poland was part of England, and this is how basically what happened, England and France came together. So now tripartite pact was signed. Now hereby France and England were together, as I told you, they became together, and hereby now Germany got the support of Italy and Japan. Germany got the support of Italy and Japan, and this is known as tripartite sign, whereby we can resemble it as a triangle. Germany was already there, then Italy and Japan became their part, and they became in September 1914. This was known as tripartite sign, where there were three countries on one side and two on the other side. Now let's see what happened. Now when England was here, okay, when England was here, and obviously there was Russia. Now again the second bad silly mistake done by Hitler or by Nazi party was, first they invaded Poland, and now hereby what happened in the World War II, how World War II initiated. Hereby, because of Hitler's silly mistake, World War II actually started. First he invaded Poland, again a friend England, they became we can say against him. Now Germany was in the middle, on the western side, okay, on the western side, they were actually getting constant threats from the England. But on the eastern side, what did Germany did? On the eastern side, in June 1941, they invaded Russia, that is Soviet Union. So now Germany was in the middle. On the western borders, they were controlled, getting a lot of fights and threats, a lot of bombing. On the eastern side, actually there was nothing, but they invaded Russia and a lot of bombing happened. Now Germany, being on the middle, was getting threats and bombing on both the sides of the border, that is the eastern and the western sides of the border. Now USA on the other hand wanted to stay aloof. USA on the other hand, because USA had great economic depression, USA was actually recovering from that depression, wanted to stay aloof. But again, what happened? And on the other hand, Japan wanted to expand Indochina, whereby Indochina includes Vietnam, Laos and Cambodia. This was Indochina, and Japan wanted to expand all these areas. Now what happened? Because of this, Japan was actually supporting Hitler. Now this again was a silly mistake of Japan that was uncalled for, that was bombing USS Pearl Harbor. So when Japan extended its support to Hitler, bombarded Pearl Harbor of USA, which was uncalled for, and because of this very big mistake, what happened? Actually, USA came into the war, that is called World War II, came into the World War II, USA wanted to stay aloof, came into World War II and throw two great bombs, that was Nagasaki and Hiroshima, on Japan. And it is said that there was too strong nuclear bombing happened. Because of that, the people and the area was still is not recovered. So because of USA entering the war, USA ending the war. USA entered and end the war by Hiroshima and Nagasaki, which was bombed on this particular time, and because of this, USA entered on 8 December, and on 1945 war, it ended, and this was again a defeat of Germany. So Germany was defeated again in the Second World War by the atomic bombing in Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Now what happened? Because of this, again, Nazi party and Hitler, they were obviously could not see a lot of things, and they definitely died. And a lot of people who belong to Nazi party also were hated, okay, also were hated because everything everyone blamed Hitler. Hitler would have made Germany a very strong nation, but again a lot of things happened which made the condition worse, and everybody hated Nazi party and Hitler both, and everyone was dead. All the people who belonged to Nazi party were started doing suicides, right? Now let's see what happened next. May 1945, Germany surrendered, entire Germany surrendered to the Allied powers, that was England, USA, France, and then Russia. So Allied powers won again, and on the Nuremberg, Germany, International Military Tribunal, Allied powers, they actually punished. A lot of Nazi party was to be punished, because apart from all these things, they did a very bad thing, which we'll see what they did. They did crimes of Nazi party. What were known as crimes of Nazi party? They did crime against humanity, which we'll study in the next topic, crime against peace, and war crimes. We only talked about war crimes, but there are other crimes which Nazi party attained, but they only punished 11 people. Rest all were having suicide and they were not punished, okay? And if you remember the story of Helmuth and his father and his mother, basically obviously his father belonged to Nazi party and was very much near the areas of Hitler. So now what happened? Hitler, see, we can see a very good positive thing. Only one thing, that he wanted to make Germany a strong nation. But what exactly happened? Hitler actually killed 6 million Jews. This is known as crime against humanities. Okay, what is crime against humanity? Basically, he watched over a lot of people. He watched over a lot of human beings. So these are known as crime against humanities. He killed 6 million Jews. He killed 2 lakh gypsies. He killed 1 lakh Polish people and 70 lakh Germans who were not fit. They were considered not fit because they were they were physically disabled. Now, why Hitler wanted to kill a lot of people? Because he said that only one race will be there, that was of Nordic Aryans. That is why he killed a lot of other people, and these people were also known as unfit. Okay, let us see. So, according to Nazi ideology, this was Nazi ideology. Hitler had his own ideology which was known as Nazi ideology, which was very different from a lot of people. Okay, these are known as crime against humanity. So, according to Nazi ideology, there were no equality among people. It is said that people are not, they are not equal. They are very much different from each other on their everything. So, on the racial hierarchy, on their racial expression, on their racial, color, on their, again, whatever they are, they're very different from each other. Nazi quickly began to implement the dream of creating an exclusive racial community. They said that, Nazi said that only pure German race should live in Germany. Other people should be either they should leave the country or they should be killed. This is how very, we can say exploitive nature of Hitler was there. So, he basically physically eliminating all those who were considered undesirable. Other people they are not called as different, they are known as undesirable, and thus he used to do mass killing a lot of people who does not belong to pure race German. They wanted to create a society of pure and healthy Nordic Aryans. These other people like Jews, Gypsies, blacks, Russian, Poles, even certain Germans and abnormal people who have abnormalities, they were considered as unfit. They were considered as undesirable and used to kill a lot of people. And this is how the other aspect of ideology was geopolitical concept of Lebensraum or living space. He said that living space should be like that, whereby only one people should prevail, desirable people, and it should look very beautiful, and other people are, they will not look beautiful. So they should be either killed or they should be thrown out of the country. Jews were the worst sufferers in Nazi Germany. Why in Germany, and why Nazism, and why Hitler hated Jews? Because they said that they are criminals of Jesus Christ. That is why they said that they are actually, it is believed that, it is believed that they were killers of Jesus Christ. That is why Hitler and Nazi Germany hated Jews, and they wanted to eliminate each and everyone. Hitler believed in pseudo-scientific theories of race, which said that conversion was no solution to Jewish problem. He said that only real race and real pure blood should prevail. If you convert, that will not matter. Either you have to die, either you leave this particular country. It had to be solved through the total elimination. He said only total elimination, either you will be killed or you will be thrown out of this particular country. From 1933 to 1938, Nazi Germany terrorized, pauperized, segregated Jews, compelling them to leave the country. He said that you have to leave the country, otherwise you will be facing a lot of traumatization. Next phase, 1939 to 1945, this was first phase. Second phase, at the concentrating camps areas whereby they were killed in gas chambers. Gas chambers, a lot of people were put in the gas chambers, and then we used to smell that gas and they were killed. So this is how the next phase was, which was again against humanity. What were the youth in Nazi Germany had to say? They said that youth in Nazi Germany were very important, because youth actually are our future generation and they will carry our things perfectly, to the next generation. But here in in Nazi Germany, or by Hitler's view, this was taken a complete lopsided situation. So the Hitler felt that a strong Nazi society could be established by teaching Nazi ideology to children, whereby we have to nurture children like that whereby they by birth they have to hate Jews. So this ideology was created under the impression of children that Jews are not good and they are killers of Jesus Christ. So schools given German teachers, only German teachers will prevail. They will, guide, nurture and mentor the children very nicely. Children were divided into two groups that were desirable and undesirable. Only desirable children were given the education, undesirable children were not given and were not treated even in a good manner. All the textbooks were rewritten, functions, sport, everything was again the makers whereby Nazi Germany and Nazism and everything which Hitler wanted them to study. Okay. 10-year-olds had to enter junk work. At 14, all the boys joined Hitler's youth. They joined labor service at 18. Whereby everything they were, were under the Nazism, or we can say under the Hitler. Next, the Nazi cult of motherhood. What was Nazi cult of motherhood? Mothers were seen as a very nice, beautiful thing, whereby they are giving birth to their children of pure Nordic Aryans. Okay, it is said that only mother who are giving birth to German population or the German race will be treated as very nicely. They were given rewards, they were given medals. If you will born a lot of children like 12, like 6, 10, 12, you will be given gold medal. Again, the mother who will give birth to pure race Aryans, that is Nordic Aryan, that is Germans, were given, and they were very facial. If we talk about the facial, their features, they were fair in their skin tone and they had blue eyes. Only those children were given a very high class reward. They were encouraged to produce as many children, and when you will produce a lot of children, you will be given medals like gold medal, bronze medal, and then silver medal. Again, so the art of propaganda, the Nazi regime used language and media with very much care, often to great effect. They used films, pictures, radio, posters, etc. to, the main aim was to produce as much hatred as they can against the Jews. But if we see that crimes against humanities, people saw the world through Nazi. Everyone was seeing the world through Nazi eyes and spoke Nazi language. At times, even the Jews began to believe that Nazi stereotypical notions are true. Even the Jews believe that yes, we are killers of Jesus Christ, and then obviously we ought to have all this treatment. And then knowledge about the Holocaust. Now, this was called Holocaust, whereby this is known as mass killing and elimination of a particular race called Jews. It was only after the war ended that people came to know about what happened. Earlier, everyone was like, yes, Nazi had done great thing, but no, nobody looked at the other side of the book. That was what actually Jews, what actually other races have to face under this crime against humanity. The Jews wanted the world to know about whatever they had faced, to know about the atrocities and sufferings they had endured during the period of the Nazi Germany, or killing operations what are taken by Nazism and Nazi party and the Hitler. They just wanted to live, even if it was for few hours, to tell the world about the Holocaust, to tell everything whatever they faced, to tell the world about what exactly happened. So this is how with this Holocaust and with this crime against humanity, what we have done under the chapter called Nazism and the rise of Hitler. Definitely atrocities were really bad, but yes, some good things which have done politically was to give a lot of things to German. But yes, it could be avoided a lot of things which did not matter. And again, what silly mistake would have been avoided, and World War II could have been called off very much earlier. But again, because of Hitler, everything became very bad. So Hitler, yes, was a very good speaker, was a very good, we can say, a leader, not a very good leader. He was a dictator, not a leader. Okay, he was a dictator, and this dictatorship has a very bad effect on the entire Germany, on the entire Nazism. With his party, he took very bad stands. So with this, children, we complete our lecture. Thank you, children, for joining this particular lecture. I hope you all liked the lecture. Thank you so much. See you in the next lecture next week. Thank you so much.